This is the Manufacturing Automation Podcast. I'm Michael.
And I'm Matt. In this podcast, we're going to discuss growing companies, automation and manufacturing,
and how we're building the lives and businesses we want to see in the world. Welcome back to the MAP, the Manufacturing Automation Podcast, where me, Michael from Gimbal Group, or Gimbal Automation, and Matt here from Develop LLC, we talk about our respective businesses in the manufacturing and automation world, and kind of things we talk about, lots of sales and marketing, engineering improvements, continuous improvements, a little tidbit from our personal life, and of course, some extra sales and marketing.
Well, that is funny. There was the period where we're like, man, this is the books we read podcast.
Yeah.
And now we're in that sales and marketing wave. I have a feeling that 2026 is going to be the year of engineering and execution, because I think we're both getting a large wave of work on our plates.
Oh, yeah. Well, why don't you start with the general feelings?
General feelings of the week. And I was sick at the beginning of the week, so I was just kind of drained. Now I'm back in kind of my normal swing. Overall week was really positive. We've got some new projects that we've been kicking off here. Looks like we're going to be closing a couple more coming up. Just really excited about some of the stuff we have going on in the shop. And we're getting, looks like we're going to probably sign off on 1701 here by the end of the month. That machine's been running full pallets now all week, which has been really nice to see. So that means we're chasing edge case bugs, which is, there will always be edge case bugs in any machine for anybody that's aware of machine building.
Yeah.
So what about yourself?
I think I was kind of sick too. It's like borderline, when you're like just sick enough that you like can't justify not going into work, but you feel like crap, and your productivity takes a hit. That's kind of where I was at the beginning, the middle of this week. Man, I've just been concerned with trying to execute at the level that I want to. That's really been my big issue, because we're still don't have a head of engineering onboarded. I think I told you we went through like 200 applicants. I am very aggressively trying to recruit one candidate. I have one candidate I'm kind of like lukewarm on. There is a backup, but I just need someone there, right? I really need to have like engineering leadership talent in-house.
You need the right person, just because the pain of you went through all this pain. Don't cut it short of the finish line.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, going through, playing the recruiting game, we gone through a lot of different, kind of trial consulting days with a lot of different people, and this one person's just so high and above the rest. I had honestly kind of had to wrap my head around, getting the salary to the level where I could realistically recruit them, right? Which is, welcome to LA engineering salaries for a leadership spot. But yeah, I mean, that's just had me really stressed. And there's been some other stuff that's been really interesting. I think I've been talking a lot about Shopify conversion rates, button color changes. We have over tripled our monthly Shopify revenue from not year over year, from 3 months ago, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. And we went from a 0.02 conversion rate to a 0.3 conversion rate.
I don't know if I want to poke a hole in your
Yeah.
bubble here, but I think this market's really broken free. So I would take some of that data with a grain of salt, Michael, because I'm seeing projects moving. I've been hitting up some of my buddies in the space, or other friends is what I should say, in the space, and relatives. Everything in B2B is seeing a large uptick in sales increases and conversions. So I would just be cautious to say that you've mastered it.
Yeah. I don't think I've mastered it at all. I think I should be at like 2%, right?
Okay.
And one thing too that we intentionally, well, kind of half intentionally, we never set up conversion tracking for like a Calendly that then, they come from an ad, click on the Calendly. Like, I'm talking strictly everybody who comes on our website, the conversion rate of people who turn into Shopify transactions. And the reason I'm excited about that is, to an extent, they're passive and scalable in a way that turnkeys and the intro load are not, right? I can hire up some staff and some more assembly guys, get a couple more vendors lined up, and I can, double or triple the number of grippers that I want to make within a matter of weeks. I can't double or triple, we can't install more than 2 or 3 intralids in a month. It just wouldn't happen.
Custom machine building is a beast in itself to turn up.
Yeah. And I still have a little bit of background stress. Like, we've had so many, like, it's really funny. Like, I've gotten pretty good, I think, at nailing, like, and weeding out to only get to, like, the slam dunk talented clients, right? But I have a couple deals that are pretty old, where we have done everything we were supposed to do over and over and over again. And the customer is just literally not even trying to implement. And then basically, like a couple of those customers were like, I want them to succeed so badly, but they just not only like, are they putting in 0 effort? They're also like not taking any responsibility for, like, they have to try to at least like turn the thing on and follow the instructions. Right. And these are like larger, turnkey implementations. This isn't a $5,000, they bought a one-off bundle, or I wouldn't honestly even be thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because I kind of want to say a little story on that, because it's like, because I go through the same pain of always giving so much energy to people that don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Is like, that's really what I want to say, because I know I've been like, this is a tough one for, like, whether it's customers or team members. The energy should go to the people that are continuously not making your life easier is the wrong word, but like, I like your reciprocity line.
Yeah.
Those that give the most reciprocity in terms of customers or team members is where the energy goes, and that's how your business grows. Like, I don't know, that's the way I feel. And it's like, if they don't want to put effort in, no matter how bad we want it, we just can't push that rope uphill.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we have one customer, they just keep making crazy demands, and they don't want to pay to fix the things that they messed up. Right. And it's like, nope, here's your list of the 15 like customer checklist non-compliance items. Like, we'll fix it for free, but it's going to be at our pace. Right. Like, if you want to, get to the top of the line and talk to an apps guy now, like, fine, but you're going to pay our normal rate. And just, man, taking that approach has just made my life so much better. I'm still stressed, right? But I think the stress right now is for the really great customers, like, I don't want to fall behind. I feel like I'm, without engineering staff, I'm like definitely pushing myself and my team probably, more than I should. And I'm finally like taking advice that you and many other people have given me over and over of like, okay, push out your lead times. Like,
that's all you can do. Like, it's a weird macro calculation, but your team can only output X number of dollars per team member per month, if you will. And then you look at how many months out, and then that's a way to look at that too.
Yep.
I mean, I'm doing that math right now. That's why I'm kind of saying it out loud, because currently we're booking out quite far, which is an interesting swing here all of a sudden, which it might be one of the farthest we've booked out in history pretty quick here. And so it's questioning, all right, there was a metric I wanted to hit before we started staffing again and going into a growth curve. What's that look like? But I don't know. Because from my experience, sorry to cut you off, is when having gone through growth curves and those pains, what happened is you try and get more through the team, and there's only so much time they can run at that higher sustained level, that all of a sudden, say you were performing at $350,000 a year per team member, all of a sudden that comes down to 300, and it just it doesn't drop linearly, it just exponentially dives. So those are the metrics I like to watch, is when all of a sudden that starts trickling off quickly, you definitely need to stop pushing the team hard.
Yeah 100%. The one thing though that's kind of funny I wanted to bring up, I have found 2 books that I've liked more than anything I've read in a long time.
Interesting. Okay.
One was from, let me see. One's called Oversubscribed, which is kind of like the art of getting, customers to want to buy from you. Think, Rolex versus the cheapest watch you can buy.
Yeah.
And another one is Get Scalable by Ryan Deese, that's the guy I sent you the video on the little CEO like week to week tracking dashboard thing.
Yeah, I believe I've seen some of his videos somewhere, because some of the stories sounded so familiar when I watched that video, but I can't put my finger on it. Where it might have just been like a late night YouTube
Yeah.
binge, and I listened to one of his videos, just didn't engage with it or something. But yeah, I really appreciated that because there were some tips in there. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. So thank you.
But what I wanted to say was like, I've been really struggling to keep up. I'm jumping in between engineering and sales and marketing, and that sine wave is intensifying. And I read this book, and everyone has been telling me to push out lead times for a while, but I never have really done it. Like I think in my head, I thought that would be a lever that if I pulled our conversion rate, I kind of have two conversion rates. I have our e-commerce and then our turnkey intro load customers.
Your conversion rate will go up.
It went up, yeah. And I was like, oh, so I can make my life easier, and I can sell the stuff with less effort. Yeah. So it's like one of these like you don't know what you don't know, unintentional self-sabotage, right? Like, and now it's like, oh, you want an intro load, like maybe February. And
it's trust because now people realize you're legitimate and you've been doing it. I mean, from the outside, you can look at our businesses and we look very small. So there's always the perception of risk in B2B.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unavoidable.
Yep.
I was going to say something about.
Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
Oh, you're good. I always talk too much in these. Don't let you talk enough.
I'm very wound up today.
Ryan Deese guy.
Yeah.
I think you probably heard me talk about like this visionary integrator EOS relationship idea, right? That you should have like one person who is like the ideas guy and the other person who's like the manager. And the thing that really made me like Ryan Deese is he kind of went through these like book reviews, and one of them was the EOS traction book. And I had been obsessed with that idea of like, oh, I'm the visionary, like blah 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 blah, right? I just need to get a COO.
Crucified a lot of books. Right. I watched that one right after the one you sent me.
Absolutely, just like demolish that mindset of like, imagine that you have, one parent who's like, I'm going to be the fun parent. I'm only going to do fun things with the kids. and I was like, oh, like if you put it through that lens, like, yeah, that is completely ridiculous. And that kind of changed my mindset a little bit. And the EOS implementer people will tell you to do EOS exactly by the book, but some of it is ridiculous, and I think that's one of those things.
I really liked that analogy too, because I remember being like, yeah, that one really hits home.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get any respect from your team either. If you just want to be the idea guy and run around and be a critic, I mean, you can be a critic.
It sounds great, right? And it viewing it through that lens, it's like, oh, okay, like this is just some pie in the sky dream of like, it's like saying, do no work and be a billionaire. Like like how do you link that to something material? Like, it's kind of like putting myself back on the hook for like, okay, you have to be a good business owner and a, manager, not just the ideas guy.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I had the team ask me a really good question today that I was actually put back on my heels on in our all team, because we continue to figure out, like I got kicked out of engineering is the way I like to put it. So I go focus on sales and continue to grow the business on business development. Today I got asked in the meeting as we're doing 2026 planning is, what's your job description look like in 2 years and 5 years? And they want me to draft what that looks like so they can take stuff off my plate.
Wow.
Like that one really excited me. They're like, yeah, how do we shape that so you can continue to grow the business? And I'm like, all right. So that was the homework or the task my team gave me today. And I was like, really put back and really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
So I got to put some thought into that, because I know I've surface level thought about it, but it's like you said, you can't just say, I just want to do all the fun stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm trying to get out of engineering, and I'm okay like having the idea and scoping it out, but I'm becoming less and less okay with actually doing the work, even a portion of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your goal should continue to be not how you're doing things, but how you're leading
Yeah.
team members.
100%. Sales and marketing?
Holy crap, we've gone 15 minutes and didn't talk about
I
sales
know.
and marketing. All right, this is a cool podcast
Yeah.
for a little bit of a swing. Sales and marketing, nothing too crazy on our end. We just got off of MD&M and Eats. I'm hoping for another contract to come in yet today. I keep looking because that'll be a record deal close in a month in develop history if we can close it today.
Yeah.
Between all the projects that went through. So I'm quite excited about that, considering the slowness we had in the first 2 quarters, and stuff's picked up in these last 2, which is nice. I mean, thankfully we had a bunch of work, but pipeline wise, I don't know. I showed you our dashboards. Is there anything you learned from that or stuff that you thought would be good to discuss?
Not specifically. And to be fair, I was looking at it through the lens of specifically things I could kind of, steal for my own use.
That's like what stood out to you that you wanted to steal?
I don't remember what it was, but I know there were 2 or 3 metrics that I was like, oh, that's a great leading or even lagging indicator. And that's made it onto our most recent scoreboard.
I think it was deals per month.
Oh, yeah.
So we track how many deals we quote per month, and then we track them per vertical.
Yep.
So how many MRSs got quoted this month, how many automation partner packages got quoted, how many machines, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And then I set goals for the year. That's actually one of the metrics that I'm trying to reset for next year. Trying to figure out what that metric needs to look like based on our goals. The tough part is like our conversion rate also keeps going up. So technically that number should keep coming down. And then we're getting all this follow-on work is what we're really seeing, which is completely changing my equation. Like right now we have 3 clients that we did or are doing preliminary engineering for. And arguably, if all 3 of those go through, that fills our entire pipeline and some for the next like 18 months. So that's an interesting equation to change on there of how we look at our sales and marketing budget along with our engineering budget next year, because I'm almost leaning, where we've been so sales and marketing heavy, I'm almost leaning to be more aggressive on hiring engineers and team members next year.
Yeah. I will caution you, because I was in that boat, when a big part of the business was still contract manufacturing, where I had, 2 customers where it was not irregular for them each to spend 6 figures with us and like in a month. But it is a huge amount of risk, right? Both hiring the amount of people to scale, like if anything happens to those clients for those projects or that company.
These are long-term contracts, like build a machine over a month, or not for a month, that'd be ridiculous, over a year.
Yeah. I definitely understand what you're saying, but, companies go bankrupt, like there's a good reason even in B2B, I think most companies try to stay under 25% annual revenue with one customer.
Oh, we don't have, it's actually with the growth we're seeing, most of our customers become smaller, even though the deals are becoming bigger.
Gotcha.
The question, maybe I need to rephrase my comment on that. Traditionally, our marketing budget to revenue has been very aggressive. I'd say if you compare it to other people in our industry, when I've shown people the number, they've thought I was ridiculous. I'm saying, rather than be ridiculous next year, be what the market considers normal, or maybe closer to normal, and then spend all those dollars on scaling up the engineering side of the company more again. That's what I'm looking at. But I also hate to me, that sounds like letting off the gas. And I don't like letting off the gas.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Like, because we had just an absurd month in September. And like, around double of a little bit over of a regular month for us. And, that we still had the short staffing issue. Like, we're still optimizing things. We started going through the hiring process a lot more aggressively at that point. But in October, we did not have a ridiculous month. We had a below average month, and it's because I took my foot off the gas, right? And I think just like I am, like you're the primary driver of actually closing these deals, even if it's not the quote generation or a lot of the groundwork, right?
Actually, I think I know it. I think you're answering one of my questions based on that.
Yeah. What's the question so we can say it out loud?
Well, but yeah. So where I've been going is I've always wondered when to actually hire and train a salesperson because I know that that's going to be a lag on our sales. Next year is the year to for sure do it.
Yeah.
Because I can actually train that person, and if our sales conversion dips, we shouldn't see a dip in the business, but we should see a growth in the business, which is what we need in 2027. That's always the challenge here is I have to be forecasting sales into 2027 right now, basically.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Our projects wrap up so much faster, and honestly people put significantly less thought, being presumably an order of magnitude smaller investment, that I wish I could book that far out. But right now I'm happy to book out 3-4 months.
We can start more projects in 26. What I'm saying is that sales lag because we have enough in the funnel to fill the rest of 26 is what I'm seeing. As long as our conversion rate remains consistent, it's the 27 where we need to continue to ramp our funnel for, which is what next year looks like.
I would push back on that. I would, because to an extent, if you have the staff to execute, right? It's one thing to kind of be, I'm telling people no a lot more often right now. I'm really, fishing for the awesome slam dunk deals where it's like a standard configuration. There's no special pallets on an intro load or some crazy part configuration. I'm basically just not chasing right now. I think kind of where my mindset is going is if that top of funnel can both get bigger and you can be way more selective, you're going to have a way better time. And I think that oversubscribed book is kind of making me think through that lens too.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is do the marketing and hire the salesperson and explode the funnel.
Only if you can execute on the work. And the idea with that is okay, if, the top of funnel is 10 times bigger, it's totally fine to have a much, an order of magnitude lower conversion rate, but the quality of those customers, the level of fit that they have between their company and yours should be a lot better. And you should be able to charge them more.
Yeah. I see where you're going.
Right. And that's one thing, from the very early days, we sold, grippers for $600, and a lot of those customers were, very difficult or not very experienced. Yeah. And, now, sure, our products have come a long way and we're 5 generations down, but, what was $600 might be $1,600 now. But we've seen an increase in those sales, not a decrease. And it depends, not as much for these projects that are huge and getting, bid on by, multiple different firms, but
even we've won projects though where I know who we've bid against other really good machine builders. Yep. More than likely they would have gotten great machines from them. It came down to I can think of one deal in particular. Worked with them for almost 2 years. I never charged them when I was going in on site and more or less just continued to do the sales, built the relationship. And then when it came to sign the contract, we were the high bid, allegedly.
Yeah.
And they just saw us as a strategic relationship.
Yep.
And it seems like we're continuing. I had actually just had another one of those this year where it was a strategic relationship based on our location to them. Wow. In terms of geography. Yeah. But that was one of the reasons. And that was a very large corporation. They've worked with some other integrators. I've been in their facilities and seen videos of their other ones, and they have some gorgeous machines. So it's it was really interesting.
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about pay-per-click for a minute? I know this is something you've been kind of questioning doing for a while.
Well, I've done it. I've killed it.
Yeah. So we've gone I am doubling down right now on pay-per-click. I have kind of just left the ads there, and I would go into, Meta and Google whenever stuff was really poorly performing. And I would take a return on ad spend, which is the amount people spend in revenue divided by what you spend on ads. I'm not telling you, this is for people listening, not for you.
Okay. Sorry.
That's all good.
And I'm slow for those that haven't listened to the podcast. I'm the dense one here.
Like I would take a 1.1 ROAS because it's like I'll make it up on the lifetime value of the customer because we have pretty good customer retention and reorder rates. But we were looking for a new ad firm. This one ad firm, they made had a great first call and then completely botched the second call. Like no prep work. It was like a lesson, like how to not do B2B sales. It was pretty bad. But they did show me a dashboard, and I saw 17x ROAS on a Meta ad, and this is just straight people clicking on the ad, going to our website, and purchasing something, and that's just a number I've never seen before. So, and basically we launched a campaign quite a while ago, and we had kind of okay return on ad spend. But ever since they rolled out this like latest, AI algorithm, it's just been amazing. For Meta in particular, like I'm looking at the last 30 days in 8.25 ROAS, which is, I'll put money into that game all day until that number decreases.
Oh,
yeah.
Where's the kill for you?
The kill. What do you mean?
Like where you stop spending on your ROAS for you personally?
Oh, like 1.1 because of LTV. It depends. Do I have the capital right now? Right. Like, it's kind of a sliding scale on capital versus growth. Cause like if I get a customer in at a 1.1 ROAS, we're losing money. Cause on average, I think 50-60% margins on our like physical product line. But I'm okay with it because our reorder rate is so high. But man, like that number is insane. And I'm like, okay, we're going to like really double down on Meta ads. And one thing, there was that, which was one item. And then another item was, we have this one business owner in our business owners group who's just, his business is blowing up. And, he credits it all to the Google PMax ads, which is their like little AI advert. Yeah.
I've tried these, so
okay.
I'm curious to hear the rest of this.
So I'm like, all right, we'll try. Right. And so I've been doing this for 3 weeks. And the first week, the ROAS was like, but okay, prior to this, our ROAS was like 1.1 across Google, right? First week, the ROAS was 2. And then the second week, if I look at that date range, the ROAS was way better. It was like 4.
What cost of products are you running in here? Like
it runs it does whatever it wants. It's just an AI thing, right? But then this last week, the ROAS was like 10. So it's like outperforming all of the ads.
Do they increase your prices then?
No, they don't. Like it's just the AI like optimizing for ROAS because I think they know that you're gonna pour money into it if you're making, money from this part of the system. Mm-hmm. Like this is most of the reason for our Shopify sales increase. I think is, Google and Meta ads like really converting for the first time for us, and I'm like, I'm 3 weeks in. I've seen better performance every single week, and I'm just like, this is amazing. Our ad spend, we've spent more in the past to make way less money, and to me, this is kind of like passive scalable income, right? And super excited about that. I mean, we've been pouring time and money and effort into SEO, but I've never seen. It's just nice to have something of like, it's paid, it's instant, it's trackable, and I'm really excited about it.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you. I want to keep watching this, and I might ask if we could meet sometime off the pod and see what you're doing because I've dumped money into ads. I feel like every win seemed like an outlier, so I would be curious to learn more about what you've done, or maybe even just, I don't know, figure out a way to pay you to set it up for me.
Oh man, I keep looking at ad firms. I'm not the guy. I mean, I've probably burned 6 figures of ad spend over the last 2 years that was misallocated. But it's just,
it happens.
It's gotten so much easier, Matt. Like it's so much effort to set up manual Google ads, even manual shopping, Google shopping, the little
I've
products.
done it.
Yeah.
I've done all those ads. I used to set those, like in 2020, I set those up. That's how we got a fluke, very large client for a period of time. I ran it for a consumer product that I had for a while, did pretty good on that. But like you said, it was like, man, I was watching those, like the ads I was running, I was watching data, and it's like a daily thing. Like you need to watch that daily for a while. then you can back it off a little bit. But you need to continuously watch that because the dollars that you're spending against it can quickly put you upside down.
Yeah. And one of the big things we've done has been trying to capture email addresses at every possible turn. I've just decided like I will give you 5% off. I don't care how much the cost is, if it's an intraload or a gripper or whatever, just to capture your email address the first time. And doing little things like that has really helped to boost our conversion rates, because then someone goes and fails to actually complete the checkout process. Now we've captured their email and there's a follow-up email that's automated, right?
It's perfect.
But yeah, I'm like starting to think like a B2C or take some of these B2C ideas and approaches to ad spend and e-commerce and, try to approach the B2B space that way. And it's working really well for that side of our business.
I'm glad it's working for you on that, because I know when I've tried that for our B2B, it didn't work as I thought it would.
Yeah. And it's so hard to track, and it's far more expensive and difficult to track things like, for us, turnkeys or an intraload. But it is possible. We need to set up on our end conversion tracking for Calendly, for instance, and we need to make an entirely different ad campaign and setup that has a totally different conversion target, and then try to successfully track through this turnkey deal and have a system like Triple Whale or HubSpot's integration tell us the return on ad spend. But it's a lot of work. I mean,
it goes back to the amount of data points we're dealing with. Like we talked about less than a year ago, that was the big thing we kind of talked about, is we have so limited data points that we're better off to just continue to focus rather than setting some of these things up. Just continue to push more to the top of the funnel and get them through.
Yep.
Well, maybe you're hitting the point where you have enough in there that it's starting to make sense.
Yeah, I'm just excited because I've never had e-commerce and these things that are our inventory. Like usually all of our assembly procedures, all the individual products have been a huge contributor to sales, in so much as us doing like a gripper turnkey. But it's never been selling the bits and bobs and pieces to people being a significant amount of income until now. And that has me pretty stoked.
Interesting. Yeah.
Any other sales and marketing stuff for you?
I don't have a whole lot. It's following up from the shows like we kind of talked about. It's marketing stuff. We're really rolling into planning for next year is kind of the big thing. I really don't want to change a whole lot on our website right now. I want to just gather some data. I shouldn't say that. There's a lot I want to change on our website, but the goal is to more or less capture data based on these last changes and then figure out how to move from there. Thankfully, we found this, or I should say one of our team members found this agency that it was $1,000, and all they did was went into our back end and made our website faster. And
awesome.
They're still not done. And it was like, this might have been the best $1,000 I spent all year, because I spent more than that just trying to communicate to our current agency about the problems, and then that they would try one or two things and it wouldn't work.
Yeah. God, you find the right freelancer and it's just a game changer. Like we have our Shopify guy, we have our SEO guy. You find I have one machining vendor who's like this, where it's just the output to cost ratio is just absurd. But it's hard to find them.
Well, yeah, like I even asked in our marketing meeting today, like, are we going to get another bill from this company? Because like we paid $1,000. They did the audit for us, and then they did like 80 lines in Excel spreadsheet of changes to our website to increase speed.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I don't know how they make money on that, but I'm happy.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's overseas developers or something.
I'm not positive.
One thing I'm curious: does your agency handle things like media creative, still images? Are you guys creating those internally? Are you like paying Upworkers?
They'll do some of it. We're leaning more towards like us creating them or Upwork. I'd like to actually find. So personally, I'd like to find a good digital creator that we could use. Somebody that's even open about using AI, because there's a lot of stuff I just want to create content around and not send it to our agency, because they're really good at certain things, but they're kind of expensive for that stuff.
Yeah. And I guarantee you they're shopping it out, right?
Oh yeah, they're putting a margin on it
Yeah.
and they're moving it through.
Yeah,
So,
they
yeah, I
probably
agree.
have an in-house like graphic design manager who's vetting the stuff, but
And I don't have a problem with that. I think my real problem with that entire flow is the game of telephone. And the you take the more people you put in this, the longer it takes to put this loop together, and that's what's so frustrating to me.
yeah.
Like it's, I don't know, that's mine. Where I'd
Yeah.
rather talk to the person doing the work, and I'd even pay more to do that,
Right.
just so it can be faster. Like I'm a very impatient person, but I don't know.
I'm with you on that. Cool. You want to move on to the next topic?
Engineering and R&D.
Yeah, I'll let you start.
1701s running cases. We have, believe today was the last of 4 SKUs. They were going to have ran an entire pallet on each. From my understanding, they all got through. There was one with a couple hiccups. So that means it technically didn't pass that test, but we have 2 more weeks to do these last little button ups. But it just keeps cranking parts. Every 4.5 seconds, we're putting a part in a box. Actually, some of them, it's under that. I think we're the fastest one's like 4.2. Our metric has to be under 4.5 to pass the test. Some are running at like 4.2, and then the slowest one is 4.49.
Wow.
But the reason there's a variable in there is it's how many parts are going in the box, and the cycle time has to account for the changeover to get a case in and a case out of the system.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's where we had that delta on there. It's pretty cool too, because it's got this, we have to bring the case in, we have to tilt it up, and then we have to stack them in there like shingles because they all fall to the one corner.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So works out pretty cool that way. We've kicked off 2 projects over the last month here. One's a cool one where we're doing a lot of reverse engineering of a legacy piece of equipment that just they can't build anymore. And so there's a lot of cool stuff happening there. Really what I like about that is it's, we're supposed to build 2 this year, and then the contract has a follow on for engineering changes. So upgrading the machine once we know how it works the way it is.
Yep.
And then building them 4 or 6 more next year is really the way that it's looking. They're still TBD based on their expansion plans. And what I like about it, because they're not very complex machines, we're talking, what's a good metric to compare it to in the machine building space? It's like a module on one of our complex machines. It's probably the best way to do it. And so what I like about that is I'm seeing the opportunity for our team to really hone our processes.
Gotcha.
Because we're going to be just building and testing these machines, and historically testing department is always, or testing phase is always the hardest part on a machine. So I really want to see how we can tune that portion of our systems.
Yeah. Cool.
And then the other one is an insanely complex. It's not complex. It's just a big project. We're looking at 6 robots for a case pack and pallet line.
Sounds complex.
Yes, there's a lot going on
easy.
in it. Yeah, we have to singulate the parts, and there's a family of SKUs. We have to singulate, they're not all running, it's 1 SKU at a time, but we have to have a singulation system to singulate them in a bulk fashion. So they dump a whole box in, we'll say. We then put it into like an Astral or any feeder. We shake them apart, find the ones that we can pick. We then send them down. We have to mark them with a series of different marking requirements they have. We then have to put it into one portion of a
It's an easy project.
a singulated like tube or tray, if you will. They have to get case packed in that. There's then a proprietary process that has to happen to them all in that configuration after that. And then after that, we have to put them into another case that will then get sealed. And then that sealed case goes into a larger tray. That tray then goes into a large box. And then that box gets sealed and palletized.
Jeez. That's
Yeah.
That I don't know why you said it wasn't complicated.
Well, individually, every portion of it is not complex.
Sure.
It's when you bring
that's every
everything
system
together.
ever.
Yeah, so it's, I don't know. I am just really excited about this because theoretically, this is going to be the first of a fleet of machines that they need for this facility.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so we need to build many of these. And that's where I was saying, like, execution next year is so critical for our team because we have some of the best clients, actually, not some of the best clients Develop has ever had in terms of working with them, size of their business, and how growth minded they are. Like, they want to grow through automation. That I'm like, man, if we just kept all of these insanely happy, we're going to hit our metrics for 26 and 27.
Yep, 100%.
So that's where I, at the beginning of the call, kind of bring that full circle. And then I'm supposed to close another fun one here today. Hopefully we shall see. He was buttoning up finance today. So I might just get an answer on which way things are going. But
I love when people finance machines in the finance company and just mail you a check at a time.
yeah, it's
the best.
Yeah, it's perfect. That was my rant. It's very engineering heavy.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in a lot of review of kickoff to make sure that we set the course correctly for machines this week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So a lot of fun.
For us, engineering, I have there's a couple, there's 2 difficult clients right now who, change the scope of work or, non-compliant with the process that we're slowly doing a little bit of, kind of complementary engineering because I want to close the project out. I want to be done and move on. We're going above and beyond for free, and they're still very unhappy, which, you're going to get those people. So that's been, I don't know, and not a huge amount of my time, but a little bit. There's a lot of small initiatives of just product refinement. I think I mentioned probably a couple weeks in a row now that I'm slowly moving everything to metric. We used to have a mix of imperial and metric literally everywhere. We're just moving everything to metric. We were even spending just thousands and thousands of dollars on these all metal air fittings because I had one customer break the plastic fitting, and I was like, I can just make them all metal. And then, all of a sudden we were spending $3,000 a month with McMaster-Carr on these little air fittings. So we got a factory in Taiwan to literally custom make them by the thousands for us.
Nice. That's crazy.
And the crazy part is it's cheaper than the plastic fittings. And they're so nice. Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm sure it's just some domestic brand. They're going overseas, putting their logo on.
How'd you find that supplier?
Alibaba. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you got to vet. I mean, when we do a new supplier vetting, it's a lot of effort. And oftentimes we'll put in, 3 different purchase orders to 3 different vendors to evaluate them, and then kind of say, okay, you're the vendor we selected, and after reviewing everything, and then and just consider that the cost of doing business, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's part of the game, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, the quality of those things is amazing, and that is so much more sustainable, and getting that margin back on those products is a big deal. And little other refinements that I think are more manufacturing process refinements. One pain point for us has been we have these little subassemblies that we're assembling. With time and volume increases, we've moved more and more to kitting, where we put all the things in the subassembly kind of in a box, packaged, and then that entire package is Kanban. And I'm starting to go farther, where I'm starting to have our manufacturing vendors. We have a little domestic vendor network that we're machine shops and mostly machine shops. We have some engineering and other staff, not staff, but kind of outsourced consultants that are on a recurring basis with us. Mm-hmm. And we're having them do more, basically, where instead of just making the component, we're having them build an entire subassembly. And that's been a really nice process improvement for Flow, even if it's more expensive.
It's interesting because that's what I'm seeing in the injection molding space. Maybe I've shared this on the podcast, mm-hmm. but that's part of the reason we're seeing automation in the injection molding space spike.
Gotcha.
Is so many of their customers are saying, if you want to supply this part, you have to pad print this on it and apply this piece of
mm-hmm.
VHB.
Yep.
It's just not even negotiable. It's part of the bid. Yep. Those are the most common things I'm seeing. Pad print, VHB, maybe screwing an LED in or something like that. A
yep.
little PCB.
Yeah, for us, it's our flow link blocks right now, and the RFQ went from here's the flow link block. It's a production part to the quote is you machine this, you finish it, you get in this rubber part number from McMaster, the little rubber washer, you press fit this bushing, then it goes back on the machine and we machine a chamfer and ream the hole in the bushing. And because we had to do those last like 3 or 4 process steps in-house. And and I'm really starting just to get a focus on velocity. Like if we can send something to send cut send and not bend it here, if we can, do these things that just like in lean, the first thing is eliminate. And I think it's taken me till about the end of this year to really start focusing on that. And I guess kind of the last engineering thing I have, I know I've been talking about this forever, but we finally have the Fusion viewer on our website. We're starting to get rolled out to all of our products one by one. And we finally have it set up properly from a marketing point of view where you have, instead of just downloading, and this is inconvenient, but it lets us capture emails and therefore succeed more as a business. When you click the button, it has a pop-up and it emails them the step file. And then, now we've captured their email. We've gotten the checkbox for the email newsletter. And I'm really excited about that because we've had such good success improving conversion rates, doing discounts and other things, just capturing an email or a contact and piece of information anywhere. Yeah. I thought I didn't have much engineering, but
no, I like it. That Fusion model does look good. I have been tempted with the MRS.
It's so
I don't know
easy.
if it's worth it to do it for our VFS at this point, but
Google Autodesk Fusion embed, and all you have to do is put a Fusion model up, go into you can be on I think a free version of Fusion, maybe. I don't know if you have a commercial license or not. Yeah, and it's a right-click share. It auto-generates the embed code for you. You hand that off to your developer or marketing firm, and
so do you dumb down a lot of your CAD?
Of course.
Just do simple. Yeah, okay. Because that's you can download steps and stuff like that, but they're just dumbed down models of our systems.
Everything. We go every time we do a design rev. It's a lot of effort. That's one thing that's actually an initiative I didn't even talk about is we're redoing and actually adding logos, the logos and branding into the dummied models, and essentially we're trying to do this across the entire product line.
Interesting. Okay.
But I'm not going to put full featured manufacturing level CAD.
No, that'd be crazy.
Not happening.
I assumed you had a dumb down, but I wasn't positive on how you were handling the dumb down. Okay.
Yeah. That's going to a couple of I have 2 really talented outsourced engineers who are doing hourly work on a recurring basis, 15, 20 hours a week.
Nice. Okay.
And that's one of the projects that I'm letting them run with.
Cool. Company-wide updates and improvements, probably a perfect transition there.
Yeah. You want to start?
Our company-wide updates, improvements, kind of R&D. We actually, in our all team today, we limited our CIs for the next couple of months here. We went back to our 2x2 structure. Like I said, we have so much work in the pipeline right now, or that's come in here that we just need to execute. So, and we had some slow time for the last several months here. So we had a lot. We used up our entire CI and R&D budget and some for 2025. So the message to the team was, all right, through the end of the year and probably into January, we're just not going to spend on CIs and R&D unless there's something that has a significant ROI or it's small, simple stuff that impacts your day-to-day very quickly. Those, don't ever stop doing those. But that's kind of been our message. It's all right, let's really keep these customers happy. It's the most important improvement we need to improve. It's the wrong way to do, but the real priority of the company.
That makes a ton of sense.
We have so many of them in parallel.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird to say I shouldn't have anything really exciting to talk about in company-wide updates and improvements for a couple months, but I'm assuming some simple ones. Actually, I have a good one. We bought more GoPro camera. They're not GoPro. They're the DJIs.
Yeah.
More than we've ever had because we were trying to debug a portion of this 1701, and they just plastered them everywhere. I think I don't even know. We probably spent thousands of dollars on these cameras, and they found the bug this week just because of that CI.
That's cool.
And we've talked about doing that. It was one of those things where the team member that needed to do it, just didn't have the time. And then he
Yeah.
finally just like, it's getting done this week because
Yep.
we're done chasing this. And it was awesome because they found it in the first week of using them.
Yep. Whew. For me, I think with CIs, where my head is at, it's really just eliminate. I think I haven't given nearly enough time and thought to eliminating processes or simplifying things down historically. And I think the most recent time was, I went and bought a new laser etching system with a conveyor belt and a press brake when I didn't have engineering staff to implement those things, right? So it's like I just spent $15,000 on CIs that maybe we'll get to next year. I'm like, that was not the time to buy them. I don't even know that I should be doing those things. Like, not me,
What's
the company.
interesting is, and the longer something sits like that, the less likely it is to ever be adopted.
Yeah.
Like you literally might be better off to sell those things,
well,
and then rebuy something in 6
yeah.
months if you're not going to use it. For
Well,
6
I
months.
can just make a top-down initiative. Like, okay, you're not using the manual press brake. You're using the hydraulic one. Like, that's not hard to do at a company of this limited scale. But it's just like, I don't know. I think I got into that machine buying mindset of like, it used to be when I was still really involved that the machine, improving the machine improved the result because I would be there to figure out the process. And
Yeah.
the business is getting to the point where I need another person who can just, drop in and be that figure it out, kind of leading some subsection. I need departments really. We're just getting there, right?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, just there's all these things. I'm like, why are we doing that? A lot of sheet metal. I'm like, hey, this should just be send, cut, send. Like, why are we still manufacturing this here? And even the things like the flow link blocks, because that was a pain point over and over. Is as we have started to outsource more and more, right now we don't really have time to do a prototype or even small batch machining in house. And we built out our vendor network a lot, but the flow link blocks were a problem because they had assembly and then machining. And finally just saying, hey, well, let's eliminate that step and just have the vendor handle it. And lo and behold, like that's going to work out great.
That's good. Do you think you're going to be getting rid of more machines next year?
Oof. It's kind of weird. Like the machines do, like outside of testing and R&D, like they sit idle a decent amount of the time. I need to get rid of the gantry mill. So if anyone wants a very good deal on a 2019 Haas GR510 gantry mill, let me know.
How long have you been trying to sell that thing?
We have a dealer. I'm not thrilled with them, like a used machinery dealer. I don't think that they're putting in a ton of effort into trying to sell the machine. It took me a little bit to wrap my head around a 50% depreciation on a 3-year time span on a pretty new machine with limited hours, but what it is. Like we need to get rid of the machine.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the thing with the machines, first off, like it helps us do sales saying, oh, we have X CNC machines, right? If I'm being honest, like because people know we know what we're talking about on the implementation.
That's actually true. That's an interesting metric. I mean, you could just buy a bunch of pocket NCs.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have 40 CNC machines here.
Yeah. I think, like, practically speaking, I do, like, first I need to get a really talented engineering lead. And then I do think I need to get someone who has that kind of mix apps CNC skill set to fill that particular void as well. The reality, we do need to prototype machine some stuff. But I need a very talented guy who's been in the industry a long time, who's kind of floating between engineering and machinist. Because I don't need just a pure machinist wants to run production kind of guy in here.
That makes sense. That is an interesting. Well, it might be easier to find that than somebody that just wants to run production.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's easier to find someone, it's that get it, want it, capacity to do it. Like the capacity part is the challenge, right? And
yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And I think we've both kind of reached the point where it's like our businesses have grown that we want to hire some skills and not have to train to our processes, because now we can bring people in and we can show them the processes in a lot of cases.
Yeah. And the Man, the delta on these like trial days with potential staff, the delta between two people who, you know, might interview the same can be just night and day. You know, one of them drops in, can do the work, just figures everything out, makes recommendations you didn't even think of, and then, you know, the other guy's stripping bolt heads on a simple assembly procedure, right? Like, yeah. That's literally what happened on like my what were my top two picks for that position. It was just back to back, like such a night and day difference between the two.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Something personal or challenges and questions?
Whew. I don't know. I'll let you go first.
Well, last week we had set, you had to do your scorecard, and I had to work on some very specific customer touch points, which I took care of those, which went well. So
awesome. Yeah, I mean, I made a scorecard. I wouldn't call it done, but it's, you know, it's a work in progress. It's getting populated. Yeah.
I mean, I showed you the scorecard we used for 2025. The thing is ugly. Like it is like the worst color selections, but it, you know, in all reality, it moved the needle, and it got the team asking really good questions this year. And I think the fact that it was really simple actually made it better.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like I think definitely that's where I'm going to as well. I pretty much just took that Ryan Weiss template from that CEO dashboard video and implemented that.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah,
cool.
And that one's ugly, right? It's
better than ours, I think.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's just like numbers, and everything's manually input, and it's just like green, red, light green, or yellow. And it's just a very easy at a glance way to keep track of things.
Exactly.
You got a personal item or challenge? I think we both kind of got a check on, you know, we did the things last week.
Yeah, I try to decide what, like, I really need to focus on. Like, some of my things are right now, I need to be doing 2026 planning, which I've been doing slowly here. I'm actually going to work from home on Monday, which I think this might be the first time in like, well, since I was in the basement that I've said I'm just going to work from home.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just need a day where I don't get interrupted and I can focus. Where like, normally I would usually do those things on Sundays.
Yep.
And that just isn't feasible right now. Like, it's just not happening.
I'm with
so
you.
It's like, well, I want to spend Sunday with Milo. Like, I'd rather read him books than read about business books at this point. And so I really wanted to spend Monday and focus on that as one thing I'm doing. I've got a lot of the legwork done, but I have a board meeting on, I think it's on Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So I really just need to be really prepared for that board meeting, because I have a lot of very strategic questions for them, and I want to be prepared to give them the information for the follow-on questions that I am anticipating they'll have.
Yeah, I mean, I used to take a day off. It would be like Thursday or Friday, or Monday. I've done this periodically, and where it's been like systemized into my schedule. And then I would come in on the weekend, and that'd be a great time for me to film ad creative, marketing content, or just get something important done. I want to get back to that. But yeah, like right now, like while we've been short staffed, I need to be here to help solve those problems that ideally I shouldn't be firefighting at all.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, that's my goal.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Monday. I need to prep for a board meeting. That's what I'm really putting here, is I need to be very prepared for that, because I've got 4 very qualified board members that I'm sure are going to grill me on questions based on what we're seeing for growth next year and how I need to handle it.
Yep. Gotcha. I'll keep mine simple. Like, it's just don't work the weekend. That's don't work the weekend, Michael. I'm telling myself that, because it's so easy right now. Or when you're stressed, or you know, you feel like you're short staffed or pushing the team. It's so easy just to put yourself through, you know, 60, 70, 8-hour weeks. And I need to, you know, be disciplined and say, stop it.
I can tell you the best way to end that.
How? Have a kid?
Procreation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it literally, like, it is like one of the best ways to detach from the business because, like, literally, I mean, there was a period there where I felt like I would get home and I would spend an hour and a half just chasing him up the stairs. And it's weird. I think I love seeing the creation of that, but one of the things that I didn't think would help my mental capacity, other than the lack of sleep that's also hurt it on the other end, but like it just has detached me from the business for periods of time at long extents where like I just always was on.
Yeah. Yeah.
For like, and I've been at this for a decade now.
I know.
More than that.
Yeah.
Where I've just been always on, and it's like, I don't know, it's just not sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely need to like take the pace of meetings down. Like try to chill out, try to schedule things out farther. Yeah, but it's a never-ending learning journey, right?
Yeah, you got to pick your battles.
Yep. Cool. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap.
I agree.
Cool. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share it with a friend, leave us a review wherever you're listening.
Yeah, what Michael said.
Thank you so much for listening to Matt and I's conversation this week on the Manufacturing Automation Podcast. If you like the podcast, please share it with a friend or give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We'll be back next week to continue sharing our respective journeys in life, business, and industrial automation. Thanks so much.